Well, looks like we got a cold open here. Did not plan it this way. So, how's it going, everyone? This is Frank Avone.
I'm Doug Quimby.
And we are Kinda Live.
Kinda Livin.
This is episode 58 of the Kinda Live, Kinda Livin podcast, where you can watch, listen to on YouTube, iTunes, Facebook, Spotify, SoundCloud. What else we got? We got on TikTok now. Unfortunately, we're on TikTok. We're trying to jump on the trend here, even though we're like years late here. We're here with a very, very special guest. The one and the only Turf and Turf. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm great, man. It's awesome to be here.
Thank you so much for wanting to come on the podcast. You've been
absolutely.
doing great, unique things here in the capital region, and I first discovered you along with maybe a lot of other people through the festival Eastbound Throwdown, which we will get into. We'll get into your origins and everything, and why you are the one-man band that you are. And one thing I was thinking, do you watch wrestling at all?
No,
wrestling.
I don't.
Okay, so we're all on this huge wrestling kick right now, like going through the Attitude Era, Stone Cold, all that good stuff.
All the throwbacks from the childhood.
Throwbacks, and I was just like, the best way to explain Turf and Turf to somebody is the wrestler Mankind's brain. If this is what Mankind's brain feels like, but in a good way. Like I it was so much fun, especially this year, seeing how big of a crowd you had that was enthusiastic about the music that you were playing. And I gotta, before we get into that, we'll get into all of our other things, but I just want to say there's not a lot of times where in this music community I feel like something else is happening different, and you providing different just makes even a better music community that we have. So
I got you. Well,
and you got a bunch of Americana artists, moshing. Like, come on. I love it. So we usually start off our podcast each and every single week by talking about what we've been, not what we've been watching and listening, but we talk about how our week's been. We all have had different weeks, production schedule, musicians, all that jazz. But Kevin, how's your week been, man?
It's been okay. I'm pretty busy. I'm in like grad school and stuff, and
no shit. Okay.
Yeah, right now I'm. Yeah.
What are you going to school for?
Be a teacher for
Nice.
high school English. Yeah. So that takes up my time quite a bit, but also trying to play as many shows as I can, and working like part-time. Work at the Stewart's in Greenwich, the hub of the universe.
The hub of the universe.
I like to call it. Yeah. But no, it's been a good week. We had a show Saturday night at Polly's Hotel.
Okay.
That was cool.
Was it a turf show or?
Yeah, it's a turf show.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. I've played there several times. I always like playing there. It's a good little spot.
So, question: what do you have a name before I call your machine the Turf Mobile? Do you have a specific name for it?
The contraption.
Yes.
It's the noise machine.
The noise machine.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
I should have known that.
Yeah. Like, that's a noise machine. I'm Snail.
Hell yeah.
Everything has a nickname.
So getting that into a venue, is it tough? Is it modular? Like, can you break it down and put it back together?
Yeah.
Really?
It all breaks down into like, it originally was built to fit into a Ford Escape. So
Okay.
Nothing is like, every panel is no wider than about 3 feet. All the sides are hinged, can fold up and just go into the back of the van. The stomp boxes are 3x3 boxes. It wasn't until, I got the big cabinets, the big custom cabinets on the side, that I like really needed a bigger vehicle.
Gotcha.
So
Makes sense.
Yeah, but everything's modular. It is still tough to get everything in there. There's just so much shit to move.
I can't imagine. Then you have your actual, musical equipment that you have that you're using, and you use a 2-guitar setup among pedals and whatever else you use, which we'll also get into. But that was something I always wondered. It's like, obviously, like at a festival, it's open space. You can freely move or like tow. But I was like, ever since 2018, I think that was 2017, maybe it was the first time I seen you play.
I did play 2017 at Throwdown. It was technically my first show, but that was more like, it wasn't the incarnation I had in mind. It was like, the noise machine was like half its size, and it felt like playing in a phone booth, so I had to like fix that. And then 2018 was when I like things really came to life for me, so I tend to count that as my first show.
Okay,
18,
wow, good to know.
Yeah.
No shit, man.
Cool.
Now, what about you, Dougie? How's your week been here?
I mean, it's been lots of work. I mean, working at Target Warehouse, editing the Robert Randolph video, which was a private video. Other than that, really exciting. I actually went and saw the Barbie movie before it was out of theaters. That was actually quite an experience. It was a lot more adult than I was expecting, but it was surprisingly good. But,
Okay.
Other than that, I mean, no shows or anything. Kind of just been low key this week, man. How about you, Frankie? What you been up to?
Oh man, is there ever a week where I'm not doing anything?
You're
it's
a busy man.
It's been crazy. Especially we're ramping up here to Wild in the Trees Music and Skateboarding Festival, taking place October 7th and 8th at the Lake George Skate Plaza, and the preparations going into that. Everything's coming down to the wire, so we're just trying to do our best to stay afloat here and not go crazy through the madness of it all. But I will say, in a weird way, I've reached peace in my life, and that's not something I can easily say I've had for a long time. When you're freelancing all the time, you're going different place every single week. Different place every single day. Everything changes, and then I got a full-time job, and then had to adjust to life, and then this thing that we all got to create together also still exists, and try to make everything work sometimes is not always the easiest. But I realize that I am my own worst enemy here. And Public Enemy #1, just like the Megadeth song off 13, great album. But it's been a normal week in Frank Cavone's life this week. We had some real estate photo shoots. I had my normal job, which I love. I got to see the movie called The Good Mother, which is based in Albany, New York, and everything that happens in the movie happens actually in Albany, New York. It's about the opioid crisis impacting Albany, but more and less impacting this one subject or two, I guess. But it was a really great movie, and just seeing Albany set up in a movie, so much of it featured, was so cool. And shout out to Danny, because we went to go see that. That was so much fun. And then what else did I do? Feng Shui and E-Block. Feng Shui and E-Block both were great. And extra big shout out to E-Block, because I'm pointing at the wrong camera as I'm doing this. E-Block is one of those silent killer bands that we have here in the capital region. They're very funk-esque. Some describe the lead singer as Harry Styles. I like to think he's John Mayer Jr. personally, but he's playing these funk chord progressions that are very similar to what John Mayer would play, but with this incredible band behind him. And it's not a fronted band; they are one united band. But they've always been hanging around. They're young bucks, but now they're finally getting the gigs that they deserve, thanks to people like Justin and Jen at Lark Hall, and also thanks to obviously Greg Bell. The man we all have to thank for a lot of things here. I mean, Greg Bell, in some ways, brought us together.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
By doing the whole Eastbound Throwdown shindig. So that's been good. Editing, just compiling the shows from Eastbound Throwdown, compiling the shows from 80K Music Fest. You're going to be seeing a lot of that come out. And also put together the first Mountain Sessions episode, which airs this Wednesday. So go and check that out. It's Mountain Sessions with Laura Lee. We went to, I couldn't even tell you where we went. It was somewhere near the Catskills. But she surprised me with a Reuben.
That's so awesome.
She's like, hey, Frankie, I bought you a sandwich, because I was running late. And I was like, it's a Reuben. And it was a Reuben. Laura bought me a Reuben, and it was a turkey Reuben. It was different,
Okay.
It wasn't
It wasn't the top 5.
It wasn't the top 5, but it was a different take, and we like different here at Mirth Films.
That we do.
So, other than that, just before we get into all things turf and turf, I do want to bring up just a couple of plugs. Right now, if you buy a ticket to Wild in the Trees Music and Skate Festival on Eventbrite, you will get a free pin for every ticket that you buy. So we just made our first ever Mirth Films limited edition pins, all thanks to Brett Porter, Captain Brett Porter, who also, yes, Brett, we should have brought this up a long time ago, but Brett cannot make it tonight because he's still feeling the after effects of the car accident that he got into last week, literally hours before the podcast with JB, aka Dirty Moses, also shut out. But so we got a 3-piece. We're Rush, okay? Nothing wrong with that. We can still make a lot of sounds. I mean, you play like 9 different instruments at one time, and Russ, give me a fiddle, give him the flute, man.
We'll make a little too.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
So, other than that, Mountain Sessions, go and check that out. And our TikTok, if you are a talker, go to the TikTok page. You'll probably see the same stuff you see on everything else that we do. So if you don't like TikTok, you're not gaining anything. It's a shitty way to plug our own thing. But yes, so Turf and Turf. Now, I got to ask, so, okay, you had your first show at Eastbound Throwdown, what you like to consider. But what was where did not only the name come from, but where did the concept come from? Were you doing music before?
I was a roadie for Eastbound Jesus, but I wasn't doing my own band. The concept for the whole cage and everything actually came from I always thought it'd be, I loved the scene from the Blues Brothers where they're in the chicken cage playing Rawhide, and I always thought it would be hilarious to get together a band that our shtick was we set up a chicken wire panel at the front of the stage every show, and just turned every place we played in into a dive bar. But I could never get a band together ever.
Okay.
So finally, I was just like, well, I really want to do this, and I really want to play shows. So I guess I'll be in a cage by myself, and it sort of evolved from there. I had friends, one of my friend Adam, who used to play in Mallet Brothers band, the drummer. He was like, dude, you can turn the floor into a stomp box and play bass and snare, and just had all sorts of people giving me all sorts of cool input. So it's then built it out on my own, but definitely had tons of help, which is awesome. As far as the name goes, I got it from a fictional steakhouse, from a movie I saw when I was a little kid.
Really?
Yeah.
What movie was it?
It's called I'll Be Home for Christmas with Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember there's one scene where they go into a steakhouse, and the steakhouse is called Turf and Turf. And my uncle thought that was the funniest thing ever, and I didn't get it, but it always stuck with me. I just thought, that is such a stupid name. I need to use this. So
No, that's pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
no, there's meaning to the name. And that's pretty cool. We can kind of relate. Ours came from a Wi-Fi password,
Very
but
true.
childhood inspiration, not even direct, it seems like.
yeah.
So, okay, what was the hardest part? Because you started. If I'm listening correctly, you started with one instrument, and then somebody's like, "Hey, stomp box." Coordinating, playing 2 things at one time, almost like playing a piano and playing into the same key, but with 2 different hands, and having that coordination. Was that something that took a lot of practice, or did it come easy for you?
No, I mean, it definitely has taken a lot of practice. So I feel like I've lately been playing better than I ever have before. So it's been a lot of practice and just a lot of time put into that. It all sort of started out though, started out playing guitar, and then I switched to slide guitar, and then I noticed I can keep time by tapping my foot, and I'm like, well, why don't I just march in place, and that's how I keep time, and that'll be the stomp boxes, so basically it just adapted that, and it was just little by little adding things on here and there, all while trying to practice as much as possible. So it was, it's definitely nothing instantaneous. It all sort of evolved over years.
Now your setup, it probably has changed over the years. Who might have known? But I saw you had 2 very similar looking guitars. They were both Squiers, or looked like Squier Strats to me, or was it?
They were Epiphone SGs.
Epiphone SG. Okay,
Yeah,
I knew there were 2 of the same thing, 2 white guitars. What are you doing? What are you gaining by switching on and off? And this is just a question as a fellow guitar player. Do you have one guitar set to a certain key that you're playing the guitar in itself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
No
one
shit.
guitar is set to open D, and the other one's set to open E, and that's about it. It's just so I don't have to spend as much time in between songs tuning, and can just switch between the 2. and they're actually both like I have the two cabinets on each side of the cage, on each side of the noise machine, and that's actually just the same guitar. They're not like individually hooked up to an amp. I just have like an ABY pedal.
Okay.
It splits the signal. And just like shout out to TJ from Love of Fuzz for that one.
Oh,
like that was his
absolutely.
idea. He's been instrumental in helping me come up with all sorts of ideas. I love going to his shop because I'll like mention something I want to do, and he's never like looking at me like I have three heads. He's like, oh yeah, you can make that happen by doing this. It's like the best. So he's been a lot of help with that. It was his idea to do like the ABY split. He's like, you'll sound huge. I'm like, all right, let's do that.
No, that's cool.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome, man. And jumping off that ledge, getting that first show, what was it like? I guess because your music is unique. Like, let's be straightforward here in a great way. Like, I love it, and I know a lot of other people do. Like, what was it like receiving like good praises from the people at Eastbound Throwdown who are seeing you for the first time, and you also going through this thing where, hey, I don't know. Everybody goes into something that gets on a stage, or even if it's just having a speaking publicly in a public speaking class. That stage fright sucks.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't even know how to navigate it. But for you, like the after of the fact, were like what did it feel like getting done and like feeling the moment, and like what did you learn from it?
I was like, so talking about like the first show in my mind, like the 18 show, I was like really surprised and happy with just how well received it was, because I like to think I'm a fairly self-aware person. I'm like, this could go horribly at an Americana festival. Like, people could absolutely hate this, and they didn't. And that was the greatest thing about it, was just like people seemed to really like it. It was really well received. People were into it. It was awesome. Like, as soon as I got off the stage, like Carl from EBJ like runs up and gives me like a huge hug. He's like, "Oh man, that was so sick." It was like really cool to just have it so well received, because I put a lot of hard work into just building that stuff, and like it's a lot of practice time and a lot of thought too.
Yeah.
And I'm also terrible at building things, so like it took extra time.
Oh yeah, no, I can relate there. But now you've experienced that. You've done the first show, the bridge to playing the clubs, to playing a Paulie's Hotel. What was that an easy transition? Because what, I'm not saying what you're doing is so out there and different, but like you have a whole thing built around your music. And what was your goal? Like finding a good band to open up for? Was it just finding a place where like-minded individuals are going to like this? And that's a great thing. We have so many awesome music venues that blend in and at the same time fit the certain demographic and genre. Like what was your first thought after like what am I doing next?
Yeah. Okay. So it was the goal to like be playing in clubs and stuff, like I wanted to find a way in there. And big shout out to the guys, to like Chris from Slaughterhouse Chorus and all the guys in Girth Control.
Okay.
They were the ones that were like, dude, we want you to open for us at our like EP release show at the Hollow. And I was like, oh, this is
So that's
awesome.
show number 2.
That was
Hollow.
show number 2. Yeah, it was
Damn.
like May 31st of 19.
Okay.
So yeah, but it was, really big thanks to them for sort of getting me off the farm, so to speak. Like they were the ones that first had me open up in Albany and stuff, and that sort of like helped me meet other people like who were not just involved in like the Americana scene and Americana community around here. It was like meeting people who were more interested in like alternative music or punk music or heavy music and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's cool, man. And then in a funny way, it's like you played a crowd that wasn't like an Americana fest. You're getting a lot of strings, you're getting a lot of acoustic, instruments and not stereotyping, but like it's a different approach to an alternative rock band, a different approach to a jam band even. Like there's a reason why you don't see, like, yeah, Greg Bell's involved, but you know, there's a lot of music that is there for a reason, and have this thing that's like, okay, we're going to take a break for a second and just let loose for a solid 30 minutes. And God damn it, if it rains, we're going to make sure it happens the next day. You know, like it's that important and vital, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, now you're exposing yourself to another crowd, which is a little more fitting, I would say. Like, you know, the no funds, the venues that maybe attract alternative, you know, experimental music. You know, like, I don't know. I just find it fascinating, and I think that what you're doing is on you're on your own trajectory, and it seems like you're serving a purpose for yourself, which is the most important thing at the end of the day. Like, you know, for us, like, it's great. Like, yeah, cool. Like, we get to do something in the public eye, but at the end of the day, we're just some fucking skaters that just want to make some skate videos and like have fun. You know,
No,
have
awesome.
fun. You know, so
Yeah, absolutely.
where the songwriting comes into play. That's where it's just like it's a mystery to me. Where, like, when you're writing a song for this thing that, you know, you're Snail, you know, you got the machine, and like, are you writing for the purpose of that, not necessarily character costume, but like as a wrestler, like, you know, like whatever, yeah, Mankind, like you got Dude Love, Cactus Jack, and you got Mankind himself, like, but like he's playing that role, he's playing to the fullest in that role, or are you just being yourself naturally?
Pretty much just being myself naturally, honestly. Like, I mean, I refer to myself as Snail on stage or whatever, like associated with Turf, but like that's kind of just because like it kind of sounds better, I guess, than like, hey, my name's Kevin. Like,
Yeah.
like, because you know, you like introduce yourself as Snail, and everybody's like, okay, so like it's just kind of that approach. But so, like, I mean, as far as writing goes, yeah, it's pretty like intuitive and just sort of just being myself. Like, you know, some of the stuff is like vaguely autobiographical. Some of the stuff is like inspired by just like where I grew up and everything. I grew up on a dairy farm in like central New York, just past Utica. So there's like a lot of that in Turf and Turf, because that's part of who I am, even though I'm not a farmer anymore, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely like make sure that's that's a key element of like, I guess, who I am, but also what Turf and Turf is. So it's mostly just a reflection of myself. I'm not trying to be a particular character, even though I have this character created. Yeah.
Now, I guess going forward, like what is your goal? Like what would you, like, I don't know, for us, like a milestone for us would be, you know, achieving a situation where we're consistently putting out content in the form that makes us happy and also is maybe beneficial to what we're trying to do in others. What is the goal in going forward with Turf and Turf in general? What would you like to do more of?
I want to travel, you know, like as crazy as it sounds to carry all this stuff to clubs, and as crazy as it actually is to carry all this stuff to clubs, like that's what I want to be doing, is traveling, like, and, you know, playing to new people and seeing new places, and basically that's the goal, and I just want to push it as far as I can. And, you know, I don't expect this to be anything that's like a career by any means. That's why I'm in school. But, you know, like, yeah, the goal, the like main goal is just like, I'm just going to see how far I can go with this and see how many places I can get to and how many people I can play to.
That's awesome.
So.
And just because you know, it's in a world where everything moves so fast, what are some places that you've already been to, even that may be local, that you're like, okay, like 2-3 years ago I didn't think this was possible, but I got to accomplish it.
Yeah. I mean, so like one place, well, just a couple weeks ago I played, I opened for somebody for this band called Wargasm at Empire Underground. So that was pretty cool. It was like, I was nervous about that one because like, it wasn't, you know, I've played small clubs, but that was sort of more than a small club, and I wasn't opening for like locals anymore. This band was from like the UK. Like I was like, oh, this is like legit stuff. Like I don't want to just like look like an idiot or like mostly just like get in the way and make all the staff mad and stuff like that, taking too long to break down. But no, that was really cool. That was kind of a milestone for me, was just to like have that opportunity. That was a lot of fun. We just went up there and played like 4 songs, and people liked it, and the people who worked there really liked it too. And that was, and the band that I opened for actually really liked it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So.
I mean, is it a good? I mean, it's got to be a good feeling to be able to play to a crowd that is not the same crowd. It's like, okay, hit reset. Let's bring in this new batch of people and see how they perceive this thing. You know, like I don't know. I know, and I don't know. I almost feel like that's where it's like you start trying to take chances you wouldn't before. You know, like okay, I got nothing to prove here. I'm gonna take a risk. You know, and if the risk is playing to, you know, opening for a UK band, you know, at a new venue, especially a venue that's really hot right now for the alternative music. Like it's like the right time, right place type of thing. So was there anybody specifically who helped you get into the door, or that?
Yeah, man, I don't know if his actual last name is Asylum, but Dan and Mike Valenti.
Mike Valenti.
Yeah, Mike Valenti, and his coworker Dan there. They were the ones that like got me in on the bill, and even like, I think she goes by Milky. She like is the bass player and female vocalist from Wargasm, and she like walked up to me after the show and she was like, "I love your set." Like they gave us a list of local bands, and like I looked at your video and I was like, this shit, we need this.
Wow.
So,
okay,
so
they
cool.
selected it.
Yeah,
wow.
it was like, wow, really? Like that's really cool. And like, but no, I mean like Dan and Mike, like yeah, they were the ones that got me on the bill, reached out and asked if I wanted to do it. And I was like, absolutely, that's an awesome opportunity to have. So
that's awesome, man.
Yeah,
it's cool to see. Just I don't know, just you out playing, and like I get excited. Like I can't make half the shit I see. Like, but to see like, you know, just somebody out there doing it and achieving is awesome. So nothing but praise, man. Like it's really cool to see your journey, even though I've only seen it on the farm. But just even like I said, in the crowd size that stays in between for the set and wants to be there and wants to just like, you know what, I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna, you know, not be like in this box that I put myself in, and I'm gonna fucking go mosh. Like I know Danny. And seeing Kim Neaton too, just like really getting it in there. I was like, and then Brett's just like, you know, like trying to like manage everything, and it's just like,
oh my god,
I loved it, man. And I think it just lets out the great things in people themselves. So,
yeah, no,
you know. But we're gonna switch things up real quick here, just to plug Wild in the Trees. We got it coming up October 7th and 8th, right at the Lake George Skate Plaza in Lake George, New York. Half the ticket sales go directly to the Ronald McDonald House, and we got a great lineup. We got Mike Ganser's Pro Skater, so we got members of Aqueous, Mike Ganser, Evan McFadden, and more. They're going to be doing all Tony Hawk's Pro Skater music, and if you go check out their video on YouTube, all thanks to MK Devo, you could see just like everything from Tony Hawk 1 to like Underground, like just these great tracks. That I mean, I know for you too.
It got me 100% more excited for the set, because I mean it is called Pro Skater, so it's like, oh, I wonder if he's gonna stick to like Pro Skater 1 to 4. But seeing like, because I hopped in Underground 2 and you know, above, so like being able to hear a couple of those songs like I already knew, recognized, it's like, oh, okay, this is gonna be a fantastic one. And you know, I feel like a lot of people have played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater at one time or another. There's always a couple songs that, you know, get implanted in the brain. So I think a lot of people are going to be enjoying the set.
Absolutely. And that's a cool thing. Like, I don't know, like bridging music and skateboarding, you know, like a lot of these movies that are just like sitting around here right now, like Yeah, Right, Elementality, all the Zero skateboarding movies, like those were the tracks that like I got exposed to. Like, you know, your mom, your dad shows you Stevie Ray Vaughan, Led Zeppelin, the greats, you know. But then it's like, how do I go find this music on my own? So it was like, you know, skateboarding movies, skateboarding music, and it's not skateboarding music, you know, like hearing Iron Maiden, Run to the Hills for the first time, to Ryan Smith skateboarding to it, or, you know, Gimme the Loot.
Yeah.
For the first time from Notorious B.I.G. Like,
No, it spans all genres with one skateboarding video, so
Yeah.
you really get a kind of a collection, and you
the
get
only
experience with a lot of
sport
new
where-
music.
Exactly. The only sport where you can listen to Metallica, Orion, Nas, The World Is Yours, and just like some obscure like Dead Kennedys bullshit, you know, like, or Goldfinger even, you know.
Like, yeah, the Tony Hawk soundtracks are like all genre, like literally just about everything. It's like something for, like, no matter what kind of music you're into, there's gonna be a few songs on there that you're gonna love.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of music that you know you're gonna get to experience.
Exactly, and that's what it's all about, being open-minded, listening to new things, and that's what's cool about just the sphere of influence of what you have even in your own thing. Us skateboarding, that's what it was, and like, and it's just cool to, you know, be able to base this whole festival around skateboarding, and not to disinclude all the rest of the bands here, but we are going to talk about them. Jesus, I can't even talk right now. Joe Mansman and the Midnight Revival Band. Fucking legends. We got Feng Shui hailing from Asbury Park, New Jersey. We have Candy Ambulance, one of my favorite three-piece acts. Such a good band. Victory Soul Orchestra. We're going to take three-piece and we're going to go up to 12-piece. It sounds like an advertisement for chicken nuggets at McDonald's now. We got Hilltop, Shoe, Fine Grain, The Scunches, 2 Planets Away, doing the after party at the Lagoon in Lake George, New York on October 7th. And then we got the Hauntings, and then we also have Connor Dunn, artist at large, who's going to be laying down the sax on any band that wants saxophone included. But again, you get a free pin with all your pre-sale ticket purchases. So go ahead and do that, because at the door, the pins will be somewhere between $20 and $30. I haven't discussed it with Brett yet, or he hasn't told me what he wants, but. Yeah, so get you know, you're getting like like a $20 value, and you know, you're supporting local music, you're supporting a great cause. Ronald McDonald House, half the ticket sales go to it. But I guess, wow, I guess, yeah, this is the time where we usually talk about what we've been watching, listening, and playing. So this is we like to, you know, just like everybody else, we all have our different tastes and things. We like to recommend what we've been watching, listening, and playing. If you play video games, what have just been some of the things you've been consuming media-wise that just been making your week that much easier?
Media-wise, so I have a very, like, it's pretty idiosyncratic how I like listen to music. I still collect CDs, and I have my entire collection organized by month. So I listen to different bands and music, like, specifically each month. So, like,
I bet that way you never get really like too tired of like a couple of songs. That's actually genius.
I mean, it's fun. It's fun. It's like, now I have too many CDs to listen to all of them in 1 month, so sometimes it's like, oh damn it. But you know, like, September has been like that's the nostalgia month. I'm sure, like, it probably feels nostalgic for you guys in some way, because going back to school and stuff. So like, I play a lot of what I call like young snail classics, just like stuff I like listen to a ton from like 15 to 22 or something like that, high school and college. Just like, so like there's like Metallica and Iron Maiden. They were like two of my first favorite bands, and AC/DC was like my all-time favorite. So then, you know, and then like, I don't know, just a bunch of like 80s hardcore punk and stuff like that. Like, when I was like 19, 20, I listened to like Black Flag like every single day. And it wasn't just like the hardcore stuff. Like, I like the really weird stuff too, where like Henry had like super long hair and like wore like gym shorts that looked like a Speedo and stuff like that. Yeah. Like, just like, yeah, the weird Black Flag stuff even. But, you know, like Minor Threat, Operation Ivy, Descendants, all sorts of stuff like that. And then lately, like within the past few years, there's been new development. I also listen to like a lot of like I guess you would say like like Midwest emo stuff, like from the 90s and things like that.
Okay.
Like Cap'n Jazz and Owls, and like, I think those bands are all sort of interconnected. I think they have the same vocalist or something like that. But like a lot of bands like that, and like Fugazi too. So like
Oh yes. Okay.
bands related to those guys, and this band called Sirith Ungol. They're like an 80s metal band. They sound like Iron Maiden-y, but they were from like the US, so it wasn't like new wave of
So a
British
little more
heavy metal.
progressive, you're saying, or
Kinda. The vocals are just obnoxious. They're like, yeah. But
Okay.
it's like, I don't know. It's just so ridiculous and over the top, and it's like, it's just fun. It's very like fantasy influenced. So like, I mean, Sirith Ungol is like direct Tolkien reference and stuff
Okay.
like that. Yeah. So
nice. What about watching? Watch any TV?
Netflix, stream anything?
no. I'm like,
I'm right there with you, man.
I'm like terrible at like watching movies. I usually fall asleep. My girlfriend T knows this. And she'll be like, "This is like my favorite movie. Like, let's watch this," and I'll just be asleep, and I feel like such a jerk. But yeah, I'm just terrible at watching movies. I always have been, and I don't watch a lot of shows or anything. So it's mostly music that I'm consuming as far as media goes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, you fresh?
For listening wise, for music, I've been E-Block just released like a Wake Up live version where it's definitely a
Like
bop.
Wake Up, like
like
the
their song.
Mac Miller song?
No, not at all. No,
Oh,
no,
bummer.
their own original. So, been listening a lot of E-Block, Feng Shui. Been re-listening to the Dogs in the Pile show from Rye Bread.
It's so damn good,
It's
man.
really good, really good. I'm waiting for more sets to be released on
Yes,
Mirth Films
yes.
as we speak.
Yes.
Other than that, I mean, at work I listen to hella podcasts. So the Mr. Ballin podcast for the strangest, dark, mysterious stories. Other than that, what have I been watching? I was just thinking about this. Been watching American Horror Story, so I'm not really into like super scary stuff. But my girlfriend, her friend gave us the Hulu login, and they've been trying to get me to watch American Horror Story. So we've started the 1984 season. It just takes place at like Camp Redwood, and there's like some murderer named Dr. Jingles. Actually,
Dr. Jingles.
Yeah.
Sounds like a Dr. Jingles.
dude, I picked literally like probably the most gory season of American Horror Story to start on. I was like, I don't like scary. But, it's been pretty good. Got a couple episodes in. Other than that, that's about it for, listening and watching just random stuff
Any
here
games?
and there.
Are you playing any games?
Been still trying to, like, every day I think about, I'm like, maybe I'll get one race on the crew, but, like, I basically beat the story, so now it's just, like, kind of, like, random races throughout, and it takes place on, like, the map of the United States. So, like, a lot of the races now are, like, 10 to, like, 60 minutes, more than an hour. I'm just like, I want to do these races, but I don't have like when do I have just a free hour? Like that's sometimes hard to just come up with. So have not played the games too much, but might get into Session again. They have like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in there now. They've had a couple updates. I think
cool.
they added a new park or a new place to skate. So
Fuck yeah.
and now that it's starting to get a little cold, it is skate season. We actually did go skating the other day.
Yes.
That was fun.
We didn't even talk about that.
I did crazy. I mean, well, it's so hard to I was getting older and like haven't skated in like a month and a half, 2 months. I can't really remember last time we skated. Before that, like, it's hard.
It's
like,
fucking tough. And this is where you wonder why like we don't get a lot of shit done sometimes because we do so much shit at once. And we've had this plan on putting together the movie Sylvia, which is our next full-length movie. I'm like want to burp, but I can't. But this has been something we've been working on since 2022, taking our sweet ass time with, and to go out and skate again and just simply put all this music shit aside, all the priorities of Wild in the Trees, everybody else's festival that they all need our help with, which it's great to be a part of those things. Like, staying creatively refreshed is not easy when, this is a business as much as it is fun. So, going to skate and like also just like taking the due diligence and like not taking out a GoPro and like taking an actual camera on a gimbal and like trying to capture this footage as cinematically as we possibly can, like we do our videos for music, you know, like that's also important to me. And I feel very creative, healthy when I'm skating. I don't feel that right now with music, unfortunately. I'm sorry to say that, but that's just the truth. When you do the same thing over and over and over and over again, you know, like it just beats you down. It feels like a chore, and finding love in something again is important. And at one time, it could teeter-totter the same way with skateboarding because we were obsessed for years. And now to change that and flip the cards, you know, we've done this stuff with music now. We can go take a risk and be okay with it. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But I mean, I would have never had a camera in my hands if it wasn't for skateboarding. So I know I owe my life to it. And now we got the young blood. We got Nick B, who's just been out there crushing it and being the one to this like 16, 17-year-old kid that just like wants to skate, do nothing but skate. I mean, he has a girlfriend now, but Jesus Christ. Like we told this kid, no girlfriend, no drugs, no drinking, because we want you to be the best. And we've seen so many kids just like come and go or just like could have been like this great thing. It's like I don't even know the character's name in Hercules. The one that Danny DeVito plays is like the fat little pig. Oh, he's like I've seen it all. I've seen Achilles. He couldn't even do it, you know. And like Nick, he's our golden boy, really man. Like the fact that he influences us old ass motherfuckers to go out and do things that we once enjoyed. That ride doesn't come along often, so we're just fully embracing it.
No, I remember having that like driving motivation, and you know it's getting really hard to keep talking smack because he's out there skating every day. And I was like, I haven't touched the board in a month and a half. I'm like, I want to play him and skate the other day. I'm like, he might even whoop my ass. He's been practicing every day. So what have you been up to, Frankie?
What have I been up to? Shit. Well,
all right, now watching, listening, and playing, I should say. Not what you've been up to.
What have I been watching, listening, playing? Sorry, we just made these live graphics now that we do, and we're just trying to not be half-assed about everything. So it's like really exciting. So I've been watching a lot of stuff. I'm not a big Joe Rogan guy. But I will say Kurt Angle was just on the Joe Rogan podcast. Kurt Angle is just one of the most comedic wrestlers, but yet amazing wrestlers. This guy won a Olympic gold medal with a broken frickin' neck, as he would say.
That's
literally.
Impressive.
Yeah, so like to hear him on the podcast talk openly about his opioid addiction and see him overcome his, you know, that like unfortunate circumstance, which we've all, I don't know about you, but like, you know, grow up in Lake George, you know, seeing people suffer from you know, drug addiction, small towns, it's a sad story, and it really hit home for me. And I don't think, you know, like this is like completely off topic, but like Nico Scroggy, just rest in peace.
For real.
His birthday just happened not too long ago, and I didn't realize how hard it hit me until recently, like how drug addiction can affect somebody's life and just affect the lives around other people. And seeing the movie The Good Mother, which I highly recommend seeing, not only if you're from the Capital Region, but if you have been through an indirect or direct relationship to somebody who has unfortunately had drug addiction. Man, that movie made me cry. I've never cried in my life.
So where can we watch that movie?
You can watch it right at Spectrum Theaters in Albany, New York.
It's still in theater.
It's great. Support local. They're landmark theaters. They're still corporate, but I mean, they're not Regal Cinemas, and you know, there's not a lot of independent movie theaters unlike them and Madison Theater. So definitely go check that out in relation to that. And also in relation to this whole opioid thing, I watched with Danny The Crime of the Century, which is on HBO Max, or Max, whatever you want to call it these days. It is also about how the Purdue company and the Sackler family pretty much just, you know, was a legal, you know, drug dealing company through these pills and like coming up with fake reasons and like calling people addicted, pseudo addicted, because they're trying to cover their ass, and like these lawsuits and how it affects small towns. Like this one town in West Virginia was really eye opening. Also, been watching The Sopranos. When I make these fucking lists, I just gotta say, watching is always empty because I never learned how to relax, but I thankfully now know how to relax a little bit.
Shout out Danny.
Shout out Danny. And then we also have Gamers, GVMERS. It's a great YouTube channel about video gaming, game series. I don't even know how you pronounce that plurally. Plural.
Game series?
Yeah,
Gamer
so
series?
like we have like the Rise and Fall of Halo, the Rise and Fall of Battlefield, or whatever, and like they just came out with Rise and Fall of Battlefield 2042, which is an ultimate flop. But I like to learn about the history about game development. It's always something that always intrigued me. Also, watch the biography on YouTube. Biography YouTube channel has biography, the same biography videos they have on TV, but this one was on Booker T. And
Okay.
Booker T, wrestler, he had such an amazing life, and where he came from where he started is really incredible to see. I highly recommend checking that out. Listening, Dogs in a Pile, for the same reasons that Set kicks ass, and you can watch that on the Mirth Films YouTube channel. Selfish, there's a shameless plug.
Subscribe while you're there.
But also, their new album took a little bit to get. It took for me to get into, but there's some jams on there,
A lot of good jams.
like Drunk Rum or Truck Rum, or I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, so I'm just gonna shut up. Next, Metallica. Metallica is one of my favorite bands of all time. It's so cool to hear that is for you too. I don't have a favorite Metallica album because I think all different eras of Metallica are special. Like you can take a song like Outlaw Torn Off Load and just like it's such a great mind-melting song, and then you go to Slither off Reload, or then you jump up to Death Magnetic with the End of the Line. Just these great melodic riffs that they're very similar in the structure of the song compared to an Iron Maiden, but are different in just style, obviously. But I never really gave a good chance on the Hardwired to Self-Destruct album, but songs like Spit Out the Bone are just like these. I mean, it's still James Hetfield, it's still Kirk Hammett, and Robert Trujillo. I mean, Suicidal Tendency is such an important band. I mean, and it's so cool to see that Metallica brought them on as an opener on their tour right now, and seeing Robert play with his old band. And I don't know, the song You Can't Bring Me Down to me is just as good as like a, Disposable Heroes off Metallica Master of Puppets. Just such a fucking great thought out song, and I think you can only get that in like pockets of certain music, just like a Bruce Dickinson writing in Aces High, or whatever. I don't even know who the songwriter is for Slayer, but like a song like Hell Awaits is really thought provocative. Also, Lotus. I don't really listen to a lot of Jamdronica, but they had a really good like funky song on Spotify that got recommended to me. Don't even know the name of the song, but I liked it. So nice. I did see Lotus once. They're a great band, and I highly recommend you go see them too. Dopapod, of course, one of my favorite bands. One of the first bands I listened to get exposed into the smaller microcosms of jam bands. Always got to give a shout out to them. Harry Styles, I got recommended a song by Danny. This song is called Music from Sushi Restaurant.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Check it out. I liked it. It's on my
Harry Styles
Spotify
pretty
list.
I'm not ashamed to admit I love Harry Styles.
Like, he's really
You do?
good.
Okay.
I love
I just know him from the one Marvel movie. That's it.
I
Which
know
Marvel
Fine
movie?
Line,
I didn't know he was
but
in
I know
the
the album Fine Line, but like I gotta
Okay.
listen to the new album. But so that must be off the new album. So,
I'm guessing so.
I don't know.
I know nothing. I didn't even know Harry Styles was part of the band One Direction.
really?
I
Okay.
live under a rock. And I'm comforted by the music that we have here in the local music community, like Glass Pony, which is my favorite band of all time. I don't get out much in some ways.
He doesn't listen to pop. He doesn't listen to the radio.
And that's something I got to work on actively. But like,
Every once in a while, the Bluetooth don't work. You got to put on the radio.
I
did today.
But that's where it's like, hey, I'm driving to Buttermilk Falls in Fort Ann to go see the waterfall. Shit, I have no service. But you know what I have right here? Washed Away, Glass Pony, great CD. It's still in my car. CDs still work when there's no service, guys.
That dude, very true.
And
very
I don't know
true.
I don't know if it's true, but is there better sound quality in a CD than Bluetooth? Because I hear like this
Slightly.
warm
Yeah.
tone. Okay.
It's less compressed, is what I've heard.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, I remember sort of discovering that like yeah, like you'd hook up like even a Walkman to like just like cheap computer speakers versus hooking up to your laptop or an iPod or iPhone or whatever. It sounds less compressed. You can hear a difference. I don't know if it's like, I can't really I haven't heard the difference in a long time, so I can't say yeah, it's warmer or something, but that sounds right. Yeah.
Just like the undertones, you can hear everything. It's like even like the picking noise of a guitar, I don't know. So basically what we're trying to say is put your phone on airplane mode at any time you get and pop in the CD.
Yeah.
That's it. And then also 60s oldies.
Love it.
I've been trying to get into 60s oldies, just like even like songs that you didn't even think were covers were written like 20, 30 years ago, and bands were just covering each other, and like this era of music that honestly gets pretty much just dusted away. I would say, and the only reason why I'm even bringing this up because there's this band called Joanna Off the Record that cover specifically music in that Johnny Rockets like Ice Cream 50s like style.
Oh,
nice. I'm not saying
that's really cool.
Yeah, but so I definitely saved a lot of songs to my playlist. This my songs this week, which also brings up a good point. We have to make the official Wild in the Trees playlist for the PA system at the festival and take off all Tony Hawk songs.
Yeah, you're right.
So I think I'm peaking more with my laugh this week. Jesus Christ. I played a little bit of WWE Battlegrounds today. What a good game. If you want to just play a fun game you can pick up, play in 15 minutes, I definitely recommend that. I've definitely been in the RPG mode the last 6 months of my life before I went through what I went through, and so a lot of the RPGs I was playing was hard to get back into because I forgot the storyline. So I gotta sit down and play and just smoke a joint and just think about the game, because I do like RPGs. It's my new favorite genre of games. But also a game that I really want to plug, Cyberpunk 2077, amazing game that got not only patched but now as a 2.0 update to the game, and also as a DLC that just came out, Phantom Liberty. Cyberpunk is one of the best games I've ever played, and one of the best games I've easily played in the past 5 years. I highly recommend you playing it. It's so good. Maybe wait to get the Series X, because on the X, it just they fucked up the Xbox One, PS4 versions. So definitely check that out. And then, so where can people find more out about you, man? We want to give you a plug right here.
Oh, okay.
What do you got coming up?
What
to expect going, and then in the recent times?
Oh, well, I'll have a couple more shows coming up in the next month. Next couple months. I've got a show in October and a show in November. Both of them at Rare Form Brewery.
Oh,
in Troy,
sick!
Actually,
Cool.
Yeah.
Great place.
I love playing there. It's such a cool
Right on
spot.
top.
No, not on top.
I was going to say that'd be fucking
yeah, that'd be horrible. No, I just play on the floor in the corner there. I can barely fit, but it's awesome. So I'll be playing there, and actually I'm super excited. This coming weekend, I'm playing at Folk Faces Fest out by Buffalo.
No way.
Yeah.
Great band.
Yeah. Tyler from Folk Faces, after my set, came up to me last year and was like, "We'd love to have you at our festival." And we've been in correspondence since then, so making my first trip out to Western New York with the turf, so that's pretty awesome. But yeah, not a ton of shows currently lined up at the moment outside of those. Things sort of just happen to fall into my lap usually when people are like, "Hey, you want to play this show in 2 weeks?" I'm like, okay. So
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm not very good at planning ahead with shows, but there's that. I mean, I'm pretty active on Instagram, sort of. If it's on Facebook, it was on Instagram to begin with, because I just have to focus on just one social media thing, and and that one honestly, I don't know. I know Instagram has morphed into something else, but I remember it being very art driven, photography driven, and that sort of, it seemed like a good medium for turf was just I want to be taking pictures of these things that I'm building, and I want to have videos of these songs I'm playing and different things like that, or like, you know, drawings that I'm doing for album covers, things like that. So Instagram is probably where it's at for like just following happenings in the Turf's home turf, you know.
Hell
sort of
yeah.
thing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we're excited to see the journey, man. As always,
Yeah.
it's just great to see everything that you're doing. It's unique, it's different, and it's what we need here in the Capital Region. So go and make sure to follow Turf and Turf on Instagram, Facebook, and yeah, keep up to date. Because I mean, especially the Rare Form shows. Reiterate that again.
What's that?
What were the dates for that?
I know the one in October is on a Wednesday. I think it's the 17th.
Okay.
And then the one in November is the 10th. I'm playing with Zombie Giuliani, which I'm really excited about. I played a show with them at Desperate Annie's a few years ago, right before the pandemic, and like, those guys are awesome. I don't know
Hell
if you're
yeah.
familiar. Are you familiar?
No.
No? They're just such like a great local punk band. They're so cool. Like,
Okay.
I think they're very, they're kind of weird, which is awesome.
Okay.
Like, I don't know, hopefully they don't take offense to me saying this, but for some reason, like, my weird brain, like, thinks of Rocco's Modern Life when I hear their music.
Nice.
Like if the creator of Rocco's Modern Life friggin', like, came up with a punk band, or if there was a punk band on Rocco's Modern Life. It just has this, like, weird cartoonish appeal, but, like, it's sharply sarcastic, and, like, yeah, they're great. I would definitely recommend checking them out. And I've been wanting to play a show with them again ever since I played with them a few years ago. So I'm really excited to be joining up with them. It's November 10th at Rare Form.
November 10th
Sweet.
and Wednesday in October. I think I'll definitely be able to make that Wednesday in October show.
Okay.
And just yeah, I don't know. Just to see you in a different setting, it would be a lot of fun. So
Yeah, Rare Form's cool. Yeah.
thank you so much for coming on, man. We
Yeah.
really appreciate this.
No, thanks for having
Thank
me.
you so much, man.
Yeah, man.
Nice meeting you.
absolutely. Yeah,
So-
nice to meet you.
Absolutely. And
Before we go, if you need a 5-month-old kitten, please hit me up, Doug Quimby. And also subscribe to us on TikTok, Nick B's favorite media platform.
so yes, we gotta just quickly just do a quick 30-second promo here on your cat that you want to get rid of.
Dude, they have a wild mother, but these 5 cats are the friendliest ones you've ever seen. I even brought them to the vet, and she was like surprised at how well behaved they are. They're really cute. They love the cuddles, every single one of them, but I'm only willing to get rid of 2, and 1 might be spoken for. So if you actually want a cat, hit me up. Serious inquiries only. I will send you pictures of them cuddling up to me.
Yes. And yes, I don't know where I was going with this. As all of you know, you can watch, listen, indulge Mirth Films on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And also another Nick B shout out, Mirth Film Skates, our newest Instagram page. We've never made a sister Instagram page, but Nick's very gung-ho on this. I like gung-ho, and I feel like he's going to be a goddamn intern one day, along with a pro skater for Mirth Films. Ain't that right, Nick? Yes, I heard you say it. But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you so much, man, for coming on.
Yeah.
This has been episode 58 of the Kind of Live, Kind of Living podcast, and make sure to go get your Wild in the Trees tickets. If it's at least just supporting a good local cause like Ronald McDonald House and getting a free pin out of it, you don't even have to show up to the show. Just know you're doing something good, and I can tell you right now, from the bottom of our hearts, we would appreciate it. But thank you all so much, and we will see you again next week for episode 59. Have a good day, guys.
Peace.